Welcome to the Monday edition of the Trump Tyranny Tracker. It's good to be back with you. It's August the 25th. What day are we on today in our Trump Tyranny Tracker, Olga?
It is, 218 today, and we're doing a recap for the weekend, which
Wow.
actually wasn't as insane, but never a shortage of stories, especially ones that, affect all of us.
Absolutely. And thanks everyone for joining us today on the Trump Tyranny Tracker. What we do every day is try and let you in on what the Trump regime is doing in terms of authoritarian creep and the retreat from democracy, which seems to be never ending these days. And the topic in the Trump Tyranny Tracker today is Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth authorizing over 2,200 National Guard troops deployed in Washington, D.C. to openly carry firearms. These armed soldiers began carrying weapons on Sunday evening and are now patrolling neighborhoods and assisting police at transit hubs as part of what the administration calls a D.C. crackdown. This is obviously militarization to the nth degree and unnecessary, but here we are. We're watching it happen in real time.
Yeah, I mean, he really is putting together a police state, and I keep saying, like Russia, the difference is in Russia, you do not have this monstrosity walking around every single day, mingling with regular people. They pull out, their units when there are protests or at times that they need to quell any kind of activities, but not like this. I mean, Trump really, at the heart of our democracy in the Capitol, has turned it into a military freaking assembly that looks like something like they're about to go to war in Afghanistan or Iraq. And the fact that now they're going to be carrying weapons, are they supposed to use weapons against American citizens? Like, what exactly is happening?
Well,
And
clearly.
then on top of it, just to finish that, they're spreading this because, I mean, Chicago is next. I believe Washington Post on Friday night put out an article basically of leaked plans where they really plan to now move into Chicago, eventually New York. So, I mean, welcome to military police state.
Absolutely. And the whole thing is obviously intended to intimidate people as much as they can. I don't know if you saw his press conference earlier on or his announcement of his executive order where he was talking about, maybe wanting to be a dictator and then also wanting to rename the Pentagon, basically the Department of Defense, as the Department of War. It's not the first time he said it, but he's endorsing that idea now. And the idea is really about, being more offensive, being less defensive in their positioning. So, here we are heading for offensive wars.
At least he doesn't want to rename it Department of Trump like everything else that he wants to rename Trump. So
maybe
at
he'll
least
call it the Department of Trump's Wars, because that's what we'll be getting, I think. Yeah. In other news, the Justice Department has released transcripts of Deputy AG Todd Blanche's 2-day interview with convicted trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell, where she disputes her conviction and casts doubt on all sorts of things, including Virginia Giuffre's allegations and against Prince Andrew. Now, Giuffre's families have given Maxwell, saying that the Justice Department has given Maxwell a platform to rewrite history and invalidate survivors' experience. We've done a lot of this in the last few days, but there's, this is stunning that they've given her the entire Department of Justice as a platform to basically deny all these things that we know she did.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting, frankly, what is happening. The victims are again being re-traumatized. And I mean, it's disgusting that you have to have one of the victims' family, Virginia's, who, just recently lost her to suicide, come out and say that our Department of Justice is being weaponized to, platform this monster. I mean, if you ask her, Epstein never raped, over 1,000 kids. She never had nothing to do with anything, and
She never
here,
saw anything inappropriate by the president or anybody else.
nothing. Everything
Nothing.
was
He was
legit,
just a
and
gentleman,
yeah,
No one says
and
that about Donald Trump. He's a gentleman.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you had the MAGA world running with this monster, like her statements. Look, she cleared Trump. I mean, really? This is who you're going to listen to? The woman who said that Epstein did nothing wrong? The woman who is in jail? who said that she did nothing wrong, that she didn't lure and groom and rape, kids. So, I mean, the whole thing is disgusting. But, this part, we understand what the main part of the tracker, why I even put it, because I avoid Epstein stories in the tracker, is the fact that our Department of Justice is being weaponized to help Trump. And this is, frankly, it's despicable.
This is really a cover-up. This is an obstruction of justice. This is them standing in the way of real justice being done for these victims. And it is a cover-up, and ultimately whether you view that as, we don't know for sure that there was a quid pro quo, but she's now in a minimum security prison camp versus a minimum security prison where she has, she can leave for the day, she can go to work or do all sorts of things. This is a pedophile. This is a human trafficker. And this was obviously done in concert with this very soft interview done by Todd Blanche. I wouldn't even call it a deposition. It's not even, it's not applicable to any law or anything. She's got complete immunity. So it's just, it's a very, very unusual move. And it's clearly, in my opinion, a quid pro quo. And that to me is a cover up. That's not the right use of the legal system. It's designed to protect the president from being prosecuted.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I call that place Club Med. I could not believe I looked at this prison facility. I'm like, can I move there?
Yeah.
I mean, it has yoga. Pilates.
Sounds lovely, actually.
I was like, wow, rent free. You get to live there. No wonder the Real Housewives have, the ones convicted have moved there. No, I mean, honestly, this is out of all the things, this is extremely disgusting because, the fact that he even went to speak with her. If you want, first of all, go through the hundreds of thousands of documents, videos, recordings, everything the FBI has. I mean, they have 2 decades worth of investigations. And if you have any follow-up questions, you don't go to a monster. You go to the victims. The victims surely know who raped them. I think they know more so than anyone else. So, I mean, this is if the Department of Justice was interested in actually pursuing any kind of cases instead of creating this despicable spectacle to protect Trump, they would actually go and speak with the victims. They wouldn't be publishing anything because once you publish things, you taint the prosecution. There's a reason investigators do not publish their findings until there's an indictment, and that's where you actually see, what happened.
And in this case, she's been convicted already. I mean, 5 out of 6 charges of human trafficking. She's obviously involved in these crimes, and now it's a cover-up. So, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is not selling to the most of the public. I think people realize it's a quid pro quo, but we still don't have the FBI files. We still don't actually know what the FBI knows about what Donald Trump did with Jeffrey Epstein, which is pretty vast. I mean, in terms of... Go ahead.
Finish.
No, just in terms of my investigation, I think it's been pretty, there's a lot of interaction between these two over 15 years that is very suspicious, at best, probably very implication, it could implicate him in crimes. And so, the fact that we don't get this information and we'll never get this information is a cover-up. It just is what it is.
And I would just add again, just to... because it's so easy to say Trump, 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 Trump. This is the Republican Party. I mean, now really from, the past few months, the Republican Party in my head is going to be the pedo cover-up party because this is exactly what they're doing. On top of the Kremlin apologist party, now, for power, they decide it's a good idea to cover up this extensive sex trafficking ring that literally involved over 1,000 kids. So, I mean, Trump alone couldn't have done this. This is the Republicans providing cover for him to cover this up.
Absolutely, 100%. And speaking about children, our third story, acting ICE Director Todd Lyons says agents won't be at DC schools on the first day of classes, but explicitly leaves the door open for future visits. He cites special circumstances like welfare checks on migrant children, despite widespread concern that rescinding ICE's sensitive location policy is fueling student absences and fear. So you're having a remarkable impact on people's education. Kids at school having to face with militarization in their schools.
It is so heartbreaking and so infuriating because when it comes to children, like this is really something that really hits me home hard. And the fact that you have, I mean, ICE agents, they have been doing it and, and continuing this practice to go into schools to traumatize kids. I mean, this is the most traumatic thing that a kid can go through. Either seeing their parents being whisked away and separated from them in family separations right now are through the roof. Like, I cannot imagine, I'm walking with my son and, some thugs come and grab us and separate us, and the trauma my son would, and fear of never seeing his mother again.
Yeah.
So I mean, what they're doing is horrible, and we really, I don't even know who needs to push back on this. I wish like the people in mass push back on this, because I mean, just it's horrible. This is not what America should be known for, that we are traumatizing, generations of children. And, at a minimum, the Democratic Party needs to push back on this because, I mean, it's horrific. It's horrific. Trump did this during his first term. There were videos that still like shake me to this day where mothers were dropping their kids off at the school bus and then ICE agents were coming and grabbing the mothers and the kids are like screaming in the school bus. Like this is the most traumatic thing anyone can go through. And the fact
Absolutely.
we can, allow this
And
is
kids should be at school. They shouldn't be forced to be not going to school because they fear these military checks in their schoolrooms. I mean, it's just unbelievable what is going on. In other news, Pete Hegseth has fired Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz from leading the Defense Intelligence Agency after the DIA issued an assessment that contradicted Trump's claims that U.S. strikes had obliterated Iran's nuclear program. This is part of a broader purge of senior military and intelligence leaders who've issued analysis at odds with the White House. But in this case, it's quite dramatic. I mean, this guy's telling the truth about what was going on. And yet again, the people who are telling the truth inside the administration are getting fired.
Yeah, this is the same thing that Trump has been doing. Anyone who actually speaks truth, whether it's jobs data or military data, this actually is more dangerous than the jobs data. The jobs data is a stain on American economy and trust. But I mean, here you have a general who said that, I mean, not a general, lieutenant.
Lieutenant General, yeah.
Yeah, Lieutenant General who said that, that we did not destroy Iran's nuclear sites, so we didn't obliterate them. And he gets fired for this. Now, as much as Trump wants us to believe that we obliterated these sites, which we did not, what happens when Trump needs to actually go back and bomb Iran again because there's nuclear weapons being produced again because the sites have not been obliterated? Then what happens? I mean, what is he going to skew new intelligence? Fabricate a story that Iran magically just got nuclear weapons materials back into Iran. So, I mean, the whole point is you can only fire so long until, you're lying to the people, and eventually this will catch up, just like with the jobs data. You could put that we hired 10 million people, in the month of July, the best month ever, and whatever. Bottom line is, if people are being laid off or not being able to get a job, and companies are slowing down hiring, you can't change this, so whatever numbers he throws on paper means nothing. And this is another case of this, except this involves our national security, because if anything, Iran has gotten stronger since then. Russia's right there, North Korea's right there assisting them, China's right there assisting them to, put everything back together, including their nuclear capabilities. And the Iranian Revolutionary Guard has strengthened a lot over the past few months as a result of the Israeli and U.S. operation. So,
yeah, you put all this, destroying of truth and firing truth tellers in the context of the new Department of War. And boy, does that begin to scare you. What kind of lies are they going to be telling as they go on offensive wars around the world? Our final story, President Trump has suggested Vladimir Putin might attend the 2026 World Cup in North America. This was a bizarre moment on Friday. He was showing reporters a photo from their recent Alaska meeting. It was very strange, Olga. Very, very weird response to this photo. Trump said Putin may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens, referring to the Ukraine peace talks or non-talks, I guess, while also claiming he confronted him about a Russian strike on U.S. factory in Ukraine. But this is a weird moment. Weird moment, and it's weird that he's coming. Either way.
I mean, the whole thing was disgusting, and it just shows you how far the U.S. has fallen. One, we bring this war criminal terrorist onto U.S. soil without arresting him. I mean, at least if he was arrested, it'd be worth it. Two, Trump, I mean, in the most bizarre way, is like waving around the photo. Oh, look at me and Vladimir. I mean,
Like
the
a
thing was so
fanboy.
yeah, so the thing was so like obnoxious and disgusting. This is as Russia is, continuing to escalate their strikes on civilian targets in Ukraine. They have made a whole mockery out of Trump with his, oh, there's going to be a bilateral, trilateral. They said no, no bilateral, no trilateral, no any kind of lateral. They made a mockery of his security guarantees and said absolutely not. Whatever Trump is proposing is not happening. And here, after all of this is said and done, he comes waving around this photo and then wants to bring this criminal again to
Yeah.
U.S. soil to attend freaking, the FIFA whatever games.
Yeah, the World Cup, which is not going to be happening in, Alaska. It's going to be happening in these much bigger cities where there are a lot of people. And it's normalizing the arrival of this dictator, this thug who attacked America in 2015 and 2016 in our elections, and allowing him to have, the credibility, the backing of the U.S. presidency, even though he's prosecuting this war against Ukrainians right now that is costing lives every single day. This is, a complete abomination of American foreign policy, but also just the idea that this man is being allowed and celebrated into America is just unbelievable.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that prior to Trump's arrival, look, I am not the biggest fan of Biden's policies. I am extremely, grateful that he did provide weapons, but there's a lot that could have been done quicker, so we wouldn't be here. But since Trump came, I mean, Biden managed to make Russia a pariah state. I mean, it was a collapsed pariah state that no normal, country wanted to do business with. No one, viewed it. Only Serbia and Hungary and other dictatorships who clung on to Russia. But for the most part, the rest of the world viewed Russia as a pariah state with sanctions. They weren't able to do business, even though many circumvented these sanctions and continue to. Trump literally took Putin out of his pariah status and brought him to the main fold. Literally equating him, if not even presenting him as stronger than the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
And then to sit here and normalize and gaslight Americans. And this is as Russia is continuing to commit genocide in Ukraine, is just breached over the past few years, and it came to a head that we found out has been breaching our, federal court system. And the FBI, I don't know, Kash Patel must have been on vacation somewhere because the FBI issued an advisory the other day that Russia is inside of our infrastructure again. So this is all while this is happening, Russia is still actively attacking us. And this asshole is sitting here. Look at me and Putin. Look at me and Putin.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring him here. I'm going to invite him, for this and that. Get out of here. Go to Russia, move there. That's where, frankly, Trump belongs. He should go with the rest of the thugs that are the Kremlin collectibles, I call them. Yanukovych and Assad and all of them. Go sit on the compound with them.
We should create Russian dolls that we can sell of all of those guys, maybe inside each other. That's the Trump Tyranny Tracker for today. Armed troops in our capital, the Justice Department, platforming a convicted trafficker, threats to raid schools, intelligence officials purged. What a day. Plus this Putin overtures around the World Cup. There's a lot going on as authoritarianism takes shape and hold of America. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. on the Trump Tyranny Tracker Live. Everyone should subscribe to Olga's TrumpTyrannyTracker.substack.com and to Unmasking Russia. And I'll be back in 25 minutes with
And you
Dean,
still didn't get your sticker, Narrative.
I've got the machine back here.
NARATIV.org.
Thank you.
Maybe you'll get a sticker, and that way you can have it
the
right
label
there.
machine is here. I just haven't quite figured out how to make it all happen. But Dean and I will be back in 25 minutes, and we'll talk about the top 5 stories of the day. We've got some Ghislaine stuff in there too, so if people want to check that out, it'd be great to have you there. We'll see you tomorrow, Olga.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody.